Hey guys, Matt here from Henry Schein, just doing a quick video today, taking you through the Planmeca software and the Emerald S scanner and a quick design workflow so you can see obviously scan strategy, how to mark your margin and design a crown all within a pretty easy workflow. So first things first, you go to your patient. So right now I'm on my own profile, but you go into patients. Let's go close patient. So you go to patients, you find your patient, open it up, and we're going to go into CAD-CAM. So once you're in CAD-CAM, you can go new scan and design. So it's going to open up into the scanning software, and it's going to ask us what case we're going to be doing. So we're going to mark a tooth. So today I'm going to just choose 2, 3. Library, so these are the shapes of the teeth you can choose from. So I'm just going to choose library A, Emax. Let's go high, translucency and scan. So when you are scanning, it's going to prompt you to start scanning on the upper. Now there are other workflows where you can flick through, scan lower, buccal, whatever, pre-op. So you can do a pre-op scan of the original tooth first if you wanted to. But you always, when you are scanning, always start on the occlusal surface. Roll around, do a 45-degree angle, come back, and let's do a 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to roll around and do a 90-degree, pick up any of the interproximal areas there. Let's come back up here, and we'll get some of this area just in there, which that's not as important through there, but then obviously picking up contact points and whatnot is going to be important for us. Making sure that we've got all of our detail in here. So that's looking pretty good. If you want to take a HD photo, literally just go straight down on top of the crown. Hold the bottom button down. And you can hear there that just took the HD photo for us. So that's our upper scan. So now we're going to flick the lower button. It's going to generate a model, and we're going to go on to the lower now. So when you are scanning, you want to try and keep big flat plane. So when you're scanning the occlusion, you want to scan like that, roll it on a 45-degree angle. Likewise, when you come that way, you can roll it on a 45-degree angle and then come back and do your 90. So now we're going to do the lower. So as you'll see here when I'm scanning, so occlusal, roll down, 45-degree angle, and roll down, and we're going to try and go on that 90-degree angle now. So that's that information. We'll come back, 45-degree angle, and we don't have to pick up too much information on the lingual there. That's not necessary because that's not going to impede anything to do with the bite. So now we can obviously go on to our next step, which on our next step obviously is going to be doing the bite. So to do the bite, start on around about 6, because that's as far back as we went to. Start to come easily. So you can see it just dragged the lower in there, and now obviously we can focus on the upper. Let's drag the upper in now. So after that's done, lower button, and it's going to generate the model. So within about, less than a minute and a half there, we've scanned the upper, lower, and done the bite. So, and also it's taken a HD snapshot, so we've got a perfect overview over the top of the prep. So from here, this is our black and white view. So Planmeca call this ice mode. So what you want to try and do is, if I move this, so you can see distal, lingual, mesial, buccal. So what you want to try and do, this is our path of insertion as well on our burr in the milling machine. So looking straight down, our burr is coming from that point, pointing straight onto that tooth. So we want to go to the facial view, make sure our occlusal plane is correct, go back to incisal, and make sure that we've got all of our points, whether it be mesial, distal, and whatnot, and make sure everything's all lined up. Once we're happy, we click orientation, and now that's locked in. So now the next step is to trace out the margin. So when you're in black and white view, obviously you can see the edge of our prep quite clearly. With the crease that's running through here. So if you are scanning subgingival, obviously the color aspect is going to come in and be beneficial as well. So, so let's just lock in that orientation again. Sorry, I unlocked that. Trace. So I'm going to use a combination right now. I'm going to use black and white. And you can also, if you wanted to, you can go into the scan step. You can click on this mode here. And then you can actually adjust the color of your scan as well. So if you wanted to make it, depending on clarity and whatnot, if you wanted to make it a little bit different in terms of the view, you can, to try and make it a little bit easier to mark the margin. So that's obviously me adjusting it a little bit too much. Sorry, and I just got a text as well. So let's just go there, that's fine. And now we're going to go back into this, and then obviously our color, when I bring that in, it's the adjusted color that I just did. So we're going to go trace, and we're going to keep to that sharp edge. We can see. I'm going to go a little bit lower, just there, higher, sorry, and I'm just going to show you some tools that you can use in the software. So after you've drawn out your margin and you've realized that you haven't done this version right, you can go down here, you can go add segment, start on the line where you went wrong, and then where you finish up, and we'll hit add segment and it will adjust it. If there's any areas, you can use this move margin to adjust any areas that you wanted to as well. So depending on how large this is going to depend on how much adjustment there is in your margin movement. So you make that smaller, the smallest it can be. You can see we're just moving a very small section at a time. If you go the larger, obviously, and it will try and find out the sharper edges for you. Now this mouse is a particular touchy gaming mouse, so generally most mice that people are using are not as touchy as what this one is. Cool. Once again, you can bring in the color. So from our view where we took the HD snapshot, so you can adjust it and move it around to where you feel fit. Perfect. So from here, we're going to go plan, and we grab our tooth. We're going to resize it, left click and drag up, which is going to be filling it in that area. So you can see it's all pretty close. I'm just going to rotate it to bring our incisal edge out in line with our 2 and our 4. So that's pretty good. And I'm just going to move it down ever so slightly. So that's pretty good there. Contact point, there's a contact point there. Contact point's going to be there. And I'll just bring in the opposing, and we're pretty good. We're not shooting through another tooth. So from here, we can go into design. So once we're designing, we can just hit apply, and it's going to do an autogenesis and create a crown into that position that we've told it to go. So it's going to try and generate it as best it can. There's some fast editing tools, so you can quickly go and decide that you want to bring the incisal edge down a little bit. That's sorted. And then contact points, if you wanted to check contact points, it's this feature here, and you can eliminate that. So generally the ideal contact point is going to be roughly an aquarry color. So let's say if you wanted to bring in your mesial contact point, you can adjust like here, and you can adjust your settings. So that's on 100, now it's 10 micron. So you can do some refining little contact adjustments there. Likewise, your contact here, that's going to be a little bit heavy, so we're going to bring our distal contact point in just a couple of clicks. So once we're happy with our contact points there, we might want to fill out some other areas of the scan. So I'd start to now just check to see you're happy with occlusion. So you can see we're out of occlusion a little way. We can check our thickness overall. So you can see it's getting a little bit thin down there. So what I'm going to do on that one, I'm going to use our next group of tools, our editing tools. So there's a move feature. So move allows you to grab an area of the scan and move it out. Rubber tooth then obviously we'll adjust and move any areas out that we wanted to adjust. So once again, this is our slide scale, and it's going to allow us to adjust certain areas more than others. So I'm just going to bring some of these areas out a little bit so that we're getting a more full crown finish. You can see overall the thicknesses of that, I wouldn't want to go too much thinner, but that's going to be okay. And then you can start to use, say, dropper. So if I take this off thickness, so we'll just use dropper just to go around a little bit around the margin and thicken up some areas of the margin a little bit. Alright, so coming back to our contacts, because now that I've adjusted the contacts a little bit, I'm just going to use this tool once again just to bring that in overall. So mesial contact point, let's just bring that in until we get to around about that aqua, which is about there. And distal, we're going to bring that in now. Until we get to, now you can make it larger adjustments until we get to around about that aqua. There we go, perfect. So that now, if we were to bring in the rest of the crown, you can see it's filled in the void a little bit better and giving you a nicer profile on the crown. Now what we're going to do, incisal ledges and good contact points, we can look at that and go good. You might want to maybe fix up a little bit of anatomy. So in here, if you're happy with that, we're good. If you're not, you can use smooth tool. So smooth tool will just smooth off certain areas, you know, that you wanted to smooth off. You can adjust how aggressive it is in its smoothing or how small it is in its smoothing. So if you wanted to just smooth off in around your margin areas a little bit, you can. You don't want to go too much. If you make your margins too thin, then it's obviously going to be giving you chipping when you're going to mill out. So from here, that's pretty much well our crown done. And you can, if you wanted to, you can move the margin there as well. So you can bring in the color and you can move it around to where you want it to from that particular point as well. All right, crown done. So now we can just go to mill, and then once we're in this mill stage, we can orientate and move our sprue around. So let's move it to the back here, just into the palatal area of that particular crown. You're going to choose your block size, and also we're going to do a sim. So I'll show you the difference standard when we do a standard sim. And we use a slice tool. So you'll see when we're on standard, our slice tool, because we're using larger burrs to mill it out, it's going to mill it out faster. It's going to take a little bit more out of your more refined areas, sharper edges. So if we were to go to detailed and do a sim, we'll just eliminate this and we'll go into, so when it's on a detailed view, you can see that those areas in here are now, because we're using a smaller burr, it's more refined and it can get into there a little bit easier. So it's going to mill out a little bit slower, but you're going to get a better finish. Most people are using standard on their posteriors, and they're using detailed on any anteriors, inlays or onlays. So from here, you just hit send to the mill and it goes to the mill. So that gives you a good overview of overall design, scan, and a few tools that you can use to be able to get you up and running with designing your crown. Perfect. Thank you very much, and I hope you got something out of that. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your day. Bye.